full disclosure, I am compelled to share that I myself am not a veteran. So in preparing remarks for today, I considered, as many of you may be at this moment, what could I possibly offer that would be meaningful to those of you who are veterans and provide the respect that every one of you deserves. Well, from the moment that Jeff approached me in September, I did a fair share of research and talked with several veterans that I know. Through this process, I learned a great deal that only increased my level of respect for all veterans and military personnel. Before I get into my findings, let's just consider the history of the day itself. Armistice Day, as it was first known, was observed in Europe beginning at 11 a.m. on November 11, 1918, giving universal recognition for the ending of World War I, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. It wasn't until 1926 that Armistice Day officially received its name in America through a congressional resolution, and then became a national holiday through a similar congressional action 12 years later. If the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was the war to end all wars, November 11th might still be called Armistice Day until the start of World War II in 1939. The first celebration using the term Veterans Day occurred in Birmingham, Alabama in 1947. Raymond Weeks, a World War II veteran, organized National Veterans Day to honor all veterans with a parade and other festivities on November 11th. Later, U.S. Representative Ed Reese of Kansas proposed a bill that would change Armistice Day to Veterans Day, and then finally, in 1954, Congress passed the bill that President Eisenhower signed, proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day. In addition, through my research and conversations, I also learned that being a military veteran means that you sacrifice several years of your life for the privilege of obeying orders from those most likely of a higher rank than you. It meant performing a seemingly endless number of push-ups and sit-ups and hiking countless miles while probably carrying too heavy of a rucksack. It meant drills and or grass drills, shooting ranges, GI parties, in which party favors were typically sponges, brooms, or mops, and of course field trips, more times than not, in the cold and rain. It meant mind-numbing hours on guard duty or kitchen patrol, and if you had managed to earn yourself an extra duty by breaking one or more of the numerous regulations, then you had up to 22 hours of the same mind-numbing work, followed by a generous 2 hours sleep. And then you did it all again the next day. But being a military veteran also means that you were willing to fight and die in service to this great country. It meant being separated from friends, family, and loved ones. It meant giving up control of your life to others and having to trust your well-being to them. It meant risking life and limb and potentially permanent injury, either to complete a mission, help your buddies fighting alongside you, or just in doing what you were supposed to do. It meant you took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and you lived up to that part of the bargain every single day. For those of you who weren't drafted, it also meant that you voluntarily signed up. So I say, why in the world would you or anyone volunteer to do this? Well, the most resounding answer was a deep desire to serve country. Others wanted the benefits to further their education or learn a trade, while still others said that at that point in their life there was no other option available to them. But because of their service, they are better men and women. As many of you know, in both World War I and World War II, it is reported that 16.5 million Americans took part. Similarly, it is also reported that 470,000 of them died in service, 292,000 in battle alone. As I read those numbers and then say them aloud to you, I'm incredibly humbled, and I just offer a silent prayer of thanks to each one of them that paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we all enjoy. With these thoughts in mind, I could not be prouder to to have so many veterans in my own family representing a variety of branches. please allow me a moment to say their name and acknowledge their service. My brother, Jimmy Friend, Army. My father, James Friend, Maryland Guard Reserve. My father-in-law, John Knippenberg Sr., Army Reserve Military Police. Uncles, Bill Kaiser, Joe Bishop, and Bob Knippenberg, Army. Uncles Joe McCusker, Billy Friend, Sammy Friend, Steve Knippenberg, and Raymond Sturtz, Navy, and great uncle Haven McCusker, Marines. My maternal grandfather, Paul McCusker, Marines, and my maternal great-grandfather, Joe McCusker, Army. Through this research, I was quite surprised to learn of my husband's great-uncle Melvin Sturtz, Army, a member of the 135th Infantry Regiment, 34th Infantry Division, who perished during a World War II conflict in North Africa and is buried in the American cemetery there. Following Uncle Melvin's death, his family reserved the Purple Heart Medal to honor his ultimate sacrifice. And there are so many other stories just like his. So as I wrap up these remarks, I offer these final thoughts to consider.
I'll call you back.
Especially on a week where we just had an election. All across America, people debate politics. They speak their minds, they worship as they choose, and they raise their families enjoying the privileges of freedom earned by brave veterans like men and women like yourselves. We are in your debt. You have made a difference in more ways than you can possibly see, and in more lives than you'll ever know. Veterans, you have done your duty to your families, to your communities, to your fallen comrades, and to your country. You have honorably served this nation with great distinction. And I cannot say it enough, for your service in war and in peace. Thank you for your sacrifice, and God bless you. Thank you.